Good morning, and coming to you from the road with... Are you asleep? Almost. It is like, I thought it was supposed to be sunny today, but it's not. It's kind of dreary, but it's not supposed to rain. We have a ton to get done, but first order of business is running errands with Dee. And the first chore was gassing up, and that definitely, ouch. That was the least expensive I could find in Kinston, which is a little town outside of our little town. I mean, it's bigger than our town, but it's still small. Everywhere else was like $4.79. So, we are down to our last round bale, so we are headed to get a round bale from another place. But first, we are headed to Coker to pick up our feed order for the month. And then we have a couple more errands to run and a ton to get done. So we are just trying to plow through this part of the day. So we're going to take you along with us. It's going to be a busy one. All right, here we go. We're almost at Coker. All right, so never underestimate going into Goodwill. Dee Dee wanted to get some things. She thinks she's a fashionista now. We're loaded up on feed. We have to get to the other feed store where the hay is, but check out the shirt I got. Isn't that perfect? It's a Christmas chicken shirt. I have to wait several months to wear it, but hey, 99-cent barrel. Totally worth it. Okay, Dee is working. I just helped her put the second coat of stain on the deck. She is painting the railings. The boys are out in the woods working on the girls' new paddock. There we go. As many of you know, the majority of our property is wooded. A very small portion of it is not. So we progressively work to clear it and thin it. The goal not being to deforest it, but to thin it out to grow silvopasture. And here comes the wind. Everything dead and rotten comes out. Definitely a dead and rotten tree.
Timber.
Better late than never. For any tree huggers who may be offended by this, don't give a bleep, because this is what you would call a prescribed burn, because I will show you exactly what starts forest fires. This kind of environment starts forest fires, whereas this environment doesn't start forest fires. Lesson learned. Good job, class. Alright, well, it's burning just slowly. I don't think it took like he thought it would, but that's okay. Hard to believe that this area will look like this area, but it used to look just like all of that over there. So it's definitely opening up. I was sitting there thinking how I can't hardly recognize it. So while that is slowly making its way over all the dead stuff it can burn, we have some rabbits to dispatch and move some of the grow outs out into the tractor. We can see the burn area. It's easy to get to, so we're gonna watch it and babysit it. We take care of them. So while Matt and Dee process those rabbits, we've moved our other rabbits out into the rabbit tractor. These guys from Chi and Moon. And these guys are huge. They're only 9 weeks old, but I think they're the biggest rabbits we've ever bred, which is really cool. That's a goal you're going for, of course. Fast growth rates. Makes me feel good that we kept a doe back from the pairing. That's the parents of those guys, so they're really, really big. Let's go into first and turn it this way. You found it. Good job. Yeah. other ones are better, they don't crack. Okay, so Corbin and I are gonna get started in the barn. We have a load of feed and hay. And it's like this every time we get feed, it just becomes messy. And we're almost to the end of this round bale, so we're gonna pull it out, get that all cleaned up, reorganize. We also have to get the big brooder set up because the chicks arrived. I'll show you those guys, they're super cute, but they arrived and they're in the house right now. We need to get the big brooder up. We usually leave them in the house for, what, about a week or so?
That's about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, Corbin says 2 weeks, and then we move them out to the big brooder. It's just easier. Chicks eventually get dusty and nasty, and you don't really want them in the house. So we're gonna get this all cleaned up and get our hay and feed unloaded and keep going. And Dee Dee's gonna try and pawn off some eggs on the neighbors because we're getting, over a dozen a day now. And we don't eat that much. I will be making quiche tonight, one for a friend, some for our freezer, and I have some dough rising. I'm gonna make sourdough bread, which my last 2 loaves turned out horribly. I think because I missed a step, so I am being extra careful to get all my steps in. But for now, project is the barn. Fill up the bucks. Matt is out. I don't know if you can see in the background playing Armageddon Boy. Dee Dee, what are you up to? Cleaning the rabbits and putting it in the garden. Will you put these blankets in the trailer when you're done with that? Okay. So just a general tidy up. We have, Emerson and Danny might be coming by later to look at the rabbits in the tractor. You might like some of those, okay? Okay. So the hay situation, I'm gonna look back at my videos and see when it was we ran out of hay last year. I wanna say it was like December or January. So we've made it into March. We still have half a round bale back there that will probably get us through to the middle end of this week. Grass is coming in. I did pick up a bundle only because they were out of rounds. We prefer the rounds because they're much more cost effective. So we're doing better at storing hay. With the increase in our, well, we're not really going to increase because we're going to downsize by a goat. But we're getting another one in. So the flock size will stay roughly the same with Holly staying. I guess that puts us at 1 more goat. So, you know, that's kind of the same, but we're getting sheep. So I will say we've gotten to middle March without having to purchase hay. I got that. I have a lead on some more rounds. Not everybody deals with this, but in our area, we run out of hay. So we have to make sure that we have hay into the cutting season, which again, we didn't make it this year, but we made it much closer than previously. And there still seems to be plenty of coastal squares. It is the orchard and coastal rounds that we would have to travel out to, which there's time constraints, but we'll make it work just like we always do. But yeah, that's why we're stacking squares. Normally we don't store those, but they're here for now. So that should get us, fingers crossed. Might have to pick 1 more bundle if I can't get a hold of these other rounds. But we're getting closer. I think they start cutting April, May-ish here. So we shall find out. It's quite warm. And if it continues to be not terribly wet, we'll see. Coastal, temperamental. All right, let me show you what I mean. Come over here. So see this area? You don't need to go that way too far, but if you start at these pine trees, I don't care, the peanut hay can stay. And just push all the pine needles and pine cones in there. And if you blow them in and make little piles, then you can go ahead and light a fire. If Dad says it's okay, okay? All right.
It's only supposed to be for things that they know in our video.
Hi, Mommy.
All right, got the girls settled in a new spot. Not the spot we were planning on because Matt changed his mind. He took it upon himself to clear that path. So they were there last year, not for very long. So I guess it's a good enough place to start. We'll be moving them that way, which will eventually meet up where we were working with the other day. So we have most of the girls out there. We have Heidi in here with HB, because she is gonna eventually go live with a friend of mine. And our old girl Pumpkin, who we do not plan to breed anymore, she's her happy usual self, but I noticed a few days ago, well, more like a week and a half, she kept having this wad of food in her mouth, and I was worried about choke and all the other things, so tried to flush, pulled the wad out, got in there with a light, and her top molars, for anybody who isn't familiar with goats, goats have teeth on the bottom and front, no teeth on top, and then they have grinders in the back. So her top molars on the left side it's all gone. The whole thing is gone. So she's kind of like learning to re-eat. So she's lost some weight. She just needs more time to eat is what it is. Hang on. What you doing?
Me?
You.
Cleaning out the fuel bulb.
Oh, fun. Okay, hang on, Corbin. So she's gonna stay over here in the QT pen with Dottie's baby, who's completely fine, but she's a total stinker. This one right here, Holly. She just is difficult. She doesn't want anything to do with anybody. So she's gonna stay in here with Pumpkin, who's super friendly, who will give us more time to spend with her hands-on. Her name is Holly, but I call her Stinky because she's stinky. So anyway, that's about it for tonight. We're doing evening chores, then we're gonna get some dinner. We're gonna call it a day. So thank you for joining us on this hectic weekend. Take care, be safe, and I will see you on the next one.